joining me today on the club cast all the way from Dubai is the Cub, Jason Fealy. Jason, how's things?
How's it going, Aidan? Are you well?
I'm not too bad. How's lockdown treating you over in Dubai?
Yeah, it's not too bad. I suppose we've been on some sort of lockdown for about 8 or 9 weeks now. We had 3 or 4 weeks there where we were on complete lockdown. We needed to get a permit to leave the house or anything. So that was a bit of a dose now, in fairness. But they've started to lift restrictions a little bit. It might be a little bit too soon, to be honest. Like the cases and stuff are still rising, but they've eased some of the restrictions. There's like restaurants and things now are allowed to open at 30%, and we can go for a bit of a walk and stuff, which we couldn't leave the house at all there for a while. So no, it's getting a bit better now, but that's grand. It's fine. Everyone's in the same boat. I just got to suck it up, I suppose.
Yeah, you're teaching over there, obviously. I remember you sent a message on Easter Sunday where you were doing your Skype class or whatever. So are you working every day? Is it like online teaching?
Yeah,
every day,
yeah, it's full school day. Yeah, it's pretty much as normal. Like our school would be fairly well set up for online learning. All the students are supposed to have their own laptops and things anyway. When we're in school, so it was ready to go straight away, pretty much. So yeah, we've regular timetables. It's Ramadan now, though, so for the month of Ramadan, we've half days. Like every not just schools, all jobs will be half days during the month of Ramadan. So it's soft at the moment now, in fairness, for last week and the next couple of weeks. But other than that, yeah, it's full timetable.
And obviously that's probably their most important kind of religious celebration, isn't it? So I suppose that's like totally different to them this time, because they usually have mass gatherings, I presume, and whatever like that.
Yeah. Like they fast during the day, obviously, and then they break the fast. They have iftar meals in the evening, and they're normally huge family celebrations where you get them all together, and you'd have extended family coming over for big meals every evening and things like that. And they've been advised against those. I think they're allowed to have 3 or 4 people over to the house, things like that. But nothing like I suppose they'd be used to it. You'd be expecting maybe they might ease restrictions a little bit further for Eid when Ramadan's over. There'd be a big Eid festival, and you'd imagine that they might, depending on the situation and the cases and numbers, etc., they might ease restrictions a little bit for that.
Yeah, what are those like? I mean, not a lot of people would have traveled around. Like are they do they welcome in kind of tourists, I suppose, or whatever? Like in their celebrations, are they like just street celebrations, or is it kind of very religious? Or
well, it is very religious, to be fair. They take it seriously, and but no, for Eid, no, Eid's a bit of a, like, Ramadan would be very much for Muslims, and they like take the fasting very seriously, and then their meals in the evening and stuff, their celebrations. But for Eid, it is kind of everyone can get involved in that. There would be, I suppose it's a little bit like our Christmas. It's their real big event of the year and stuff. So there would be things going on, and everything kind of opens up again. Like, it doesn't make much difference, I suppose, to myself and a lot of the other expats this year. Normally there'd be the restaurants and things would be closed during the day because you're not allowed to eat in public or drink in public during Ramadan. It's disrespectful to their religion and things. So if you are in a restaurant, the windows are blacked out and everything. But obviously it's not really the case this year. No, it doesn't make much of a difference. But yeah, you can get involved for eating stuff, all right.
Yeah, and over there, obviously, you got involved with the J Club and stuff. What's the name of the club over there?
Dubai Kells, I'm playing with. Yeah.
Any big names to drop like Joe did in the one he did? No ex-Galway hurlers or anything, no.
There's a few to drop in and out. Ian Byrne from Wexford was playing. He was playing with us there 2 years ago. He was on the Wexford panel last year. Chaffis Patrick was actually hurling with us for for about a month. But his hips were in a bad way. He didn't hurt much. Now, to be fair, he actually played intermediate out here, strangely enough. But he was, you could see he still has the touch and everything, but the legs were gone, I'm afraid.
How important was it when you went over there that you kind of had that community? Like, would you have met as many people if you didn't get involved in the GA club over there?
Definitely not. No, it's great. In fairness, it's brilliant. Like, there's a great bunch of lads there. Like, we've big numbers in the club. The first year I was here, we had massive numbers. We'd comfortably 3 teams for every tournament. So the teams are a panel of 13 or 14 or so, and we comfortably had 3 teams for those. Now, this year we've mainly had 2 teams. Like, numbers are down a little bit, but yeah, there's loads there, and like there's good crack. The training's taken pretty seriously as well. In fairness, we train 3 times a week, Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursday evenings, and most of the time you'd have nothing better to be doing anyway. So you'd head away down. It's good, and it's all fellas with the same interests and stuff. So it's good, and there's a good nightlife that accompanies it as well. I think there's after the tournaments and stuff, there's good crack, and yeah, it's good. It's a great way of meeting people. Like, you wouldn't meet outside of your job. You wouldn't really get an opportunity to meet many other people like only for that. So yeah, it's great.
How many teams would be over there? Like, what kind of area do you play the tournaments in? Or is it all kind of small side tournaments as well, or is there like 15 and 15 games? Or
So it's all small. It's all 9-a-side. Like, the rules are tweaked a little bit over here. So all our games are on rugby pitches or soccer pitches. So it's 9-a-side, panel of about 12, rolling 12, 13, 14, and then there's rolling subs. So it's kind of, you'd be encouraged to go on burst for 2 or 3 minutes and then get yourself off. And so it's kind of like there's no real subs as such, because a fellow who starts as a sub is going to get as much game time as a fellow starting the game. So it's on and off. There's the teams in hurling. It's mainly the UAE. There's 2 clubs in Dubai, Jumeirah Gales as well, and then there's 2 clubs in Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Al Ain, so all the different cities, all the different emirates in the UAE, and Qatar have a team as well. In the football, then alright, it's a bit more spread out. I think like Bahrain have a team, and Kuwait and things. There's a bit more variety there. Oman, I think, have a team in football as well. But the hurling hasn't taken off as much in some of the other countries. But Qatar are quite good. In fairness, they've just have 1 team for the whole country, so they're quite strong when they do get together. But they don't travel for all the tournaments. I suppose financially, and then there's politics involved as well between UAE and Qatar, so they don't get to travel as much as they'd like.
yeah, I suppose the heat as well. Like, can't be easy playing over there. Do you play like obviously during the height of the summer, or do you try keep it for a cooler time of the year?
Yeah, the heat is cat. It's we take a break in the height of the summer, but we start back up in September when it's still 40 degrees. Like, the first tournament it's the Dubai tournament. It's always in the first tournament at the end of September or start of October, and that's usually about 40 degrees and that one. And then you're going into the winter then, so the rest of the tournaments are getting a bit cooler. But no, I'd say the coolest you'd be playing in is about 30 degrees. Like, it's fairly intense. Like, the games are short. In fairness, they're a shorter game. There's a roll and sub, so like there's plenty of opportunity to get your rest. But the heat is fairly cat, alright.
Does it make you miss the pelting rain like on a October when you're playing a junior final, or like would you still prefer to be playing in 30 degrees?
No, Joe, we were actually talking about this last day. You actually would miss, like I never thought I'd say it, but even going training in the rain, the puddle, and blowing Roach's Field or something there when we were down there for a year. You nearly miss things like that, alright. But no, the heat, it's great. Like, you can't complain. It's to play hurling in fine weather the whole time. Can't complain too much of that.
I suppose you mentioned it there. I suppose I may as well follow up on it. training in Roche's field and stuff, and it turned out to be a fairly good year that time, didn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was tough year, I suppose, training below there, but yeah, it was good. Ended up winning the minors that year. Um, it's a bit of a monkey off the back. I think we all felt a little bit of pressure all that year to try and win it. Um, there was a strong team there, like so the Dara, PJ, Jamesy, Brian Lean. They were very strong. So they kind of carried us through the year. Really, it was a good team overall. Like small panel, I think we only 19 or 20 players, but I suppose at underage you're never going to have a massive panel anyway. But yeah, it was a good year now. In fairness.
What about the day in itself? It was played in Ballyhigh, of course, that year. It was fairly late in the year as well. It was absolutely freezing. I think I was only it was just before my 8th birthday, I think. Or my 9th maybe. So I was fairly cold anyway. Watched on the sideline. What was it like for you that day? Can you remember the match like almost as if you were there, or
Um,
is it kind of some players are able
do you
to
know
remember
what?
it, or some players just totally forget it?
It's funny you asked that. Actually, I thought I remembered a lot about the game, and I got sent the video there recently of the game on my phone, and I watched it. This is during lockdown, just a couple of weeks ago, and it did not play out like I thought at all. I had a completely different recollection of it. Actually, thinking back, um, we were under a lot of pressure, and they missed an awful lot of frees as well, which I didn't even realize. I think they missed like 11 frees in the game, and we only won it by 3 points. Like so, it was a lot closer than I remember. I knew we only won the game by 3 points, but I always felt we were comfortable enough in the second half. But yeah, they hit the post near the end, and it was yeah, we were actually fairly lucky to get out of there with the win that day.
It's actually quite similar to the lads that won it 2 years ago. I don't think they realised how close Causey Ballyhig were to them in the last couple of minutes either until we got back and were actually talking about it. I think Shane Donovan in particular actually eventually realised. I thought we were about 5 points up there, but one scored. So
I actually missed that one myself. I was over here waiting on updates. My sisters were texting me. I was dying to find out how it was going, but yeah, I missed it all. Buff Egan had a little bit of it on Snapchat actually, so I was keeping trying to keep up to date with
in fairness to Shane Donovan, he was too busy headlocking the opposition full forward to realise anything else that was going on, but he did a good job and got away with it, I suppose. Um, I asked you as well before we came on. Everyone seems to be doing these Mount Rushmore things or whatever. So I asked you to come up with 4 players who, just for yourself, your own personal preference, your favorite sports people, I suppose, for your lifetime. So is there a lot of variation in the sports of the 4 people, or are they mainly
There,
genuine?
yeah, there is variation in sport. I found it hard to pick four, to be honest. As in to pick only four. But I only play hurling, but I would have massive interest in almost every sport. So yeah, I found it difficult to narrow it down. All right.
So
Um,
who was first on your list?
First on the list is Roger Federer.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about tennis players that I really admire. Like they're just phenomenal athletes. I don't know how I get pains in my knees just looking at them. It's their fitness and the skill of it as well. Like you'd see them there in a fifth set in Wimbledon or something, and it's gone to a tiebreaker, and you still see him making scandalous shots. And Federer is just, he's the goat. Like his class, he carries himself so well as well. Like he's any of his interviews are just you never. There's no bad press around Roger Federer. Like almost every other top class athlete, like, and some of the other ones on my list, like they've controversy behind them, and but Federer's like squeaky clean, like, and he's just he's a serious role model, like.
Yeah, I suppose as well, if you're comparing him to Djokovic, he really is kind of the he's the hero and Djokovic is the villain, I suppose.
Yeah, I'd be devastated when I think Nadal and Djokovic will probably both pass out his Grand Slam record in the coming years. You'd imagine Federer's probably almost finished up. It's hard to see him winning another one, and the boys are still going strong. And Nadal's only one behind him, I think, maybe two behind him. So you'd imagine they'll probably pass out the record, but I think Federer's still be the GOAT anyway.
Yeah, so tennis there. I didn't expect that one. What's next?
Yeah. I suppose Tiger probably fairly obvious choice, but
Okay.
he's class. Like there's not much you obviously kind of controversial at times, but he probably wouldn't be on my list if it wasn't for last year. I always loved Tiger and things like that, but I like the story last year was just it was unreal. Like to see him come back and win the Masters, it's probably the greatest sporting comeback or one of the greatest sporting comebacks anyway. To see that, so I don't know. There's not much to say about him. He's class. Obviously, a bit of a controversial period, but on the golf course, he's top class.
Yeah, I suppose the win of the Masters kind of it brought him back from being that person who was chased after by his missus driving down the driveway to a top class athlete again. Like for someone my age,
That's
especially
it.
like
Like,
who obviously I knew who he was like at the time, but I wouldn't have seen him winning the stuff he won like back in his
yeah,
first
yeah,
period of dominance. So I think for everyone when he won that, like everyone realized how much of a
yeah. Like he probably has another 3 or 4 years as well, where you could see him being like his back is obviously in a bad way now and things, but he seems to be minding himself, and you would think that he'd probably have 2 or 3 strong tournaments
yeah.
left in him per year anyway, and maybe another major or two. See if he
Yeah.
can get that record as well.
Is he 4 off the record, I think?
I think he's less. I think he's only 1 or 2 now.
Oh right, yeah, yeah.
I
Still
think
huge
he's.
ass, but it's not beyond the realms of
Yeah,
possibility, I suppose.
I wouldn't bet against him. Yeah,
Hopefully we'll get to see him play some golf major anyway by the end of the year. Do you
yeah, yeah.
think McIlroy will be able to stop him from getting one?
Yeah, to be I possibly McIlroy's he seems to be the most consistent golfer on the planet now, which is something you wouldn't really associate with him for a long time. He was very hit and miss and up and down, but like the last 18 months he's been impeccable. Really, he's top 10 every week. So yeah, you could definitely see him winning a couple of majors in the next few years as well.
So Federer and Tiger, who's next?
Um, Ronaldo, Cristiano.
Okay, I agree.
I think you'd appreciate that one.
Yeah, yeah, he's up there somewhere behind me.
Yeah, he's. I suppose it's probably the United bias in me. But he left United like 11 years ago now, was it? And I'm still not over it. It's a bitter pill to take. But he's class. Like obviously, there's the debate with Messi, and I think Messi would probably go down as the greatest ever. But in terms of, I think I like for who I admire, who would be Ronaldo. I think he's there's that whole debate about Messi being a natural footballer and Ronaldo being self-made, but I think that's more admirable. Like to see the work that he's put into it, and for someone who got such a bad reputation, I think when he was younger, like he's kind of proven time and time again how much quality he has, and he's the best finisher probably ever, either him or the other Ronaldo, I suppose. But he's absolutely lethal, and another good role model, you'd say. To be honest, I know he's probably in a bit more trouble recently. All right, but in terms of his football and his dedication, work rate, I don't think you'd find anyone out there who's worked as hard as him.
Yeah, we've seen probably 4 versions of him. You had the scrawny, weak winger that came to United first. Then you had the strong, quick, skillful winger from kind of, I suppose, 07 to 09. And then he just turned into a beast at Real Madrid. I suppose there was another level from that strong winger, and then now he's just an all-out strike force. Like he's unstoppable in front of
Yeah,
goals.
yeah. What he did at Madrid, like he was obviously fantastic at United and won the Ballon d'Or and Champions League and everything. But what he did in Madrid was spectacular, and he's a huge big game player as well. I know to often thrown out with both sports stars, like they get criticised for not performing in the big games, but he scored in 3-4 final Champions League finals, and I know he goes missing in games, but I don't think he's ever hid away from that fact. That's not his game. He's a goal scorer, and that's it. And I think if you have him on your team, you're not going to complain too much.
Exactly. I saw a debate. No, it's maybe I don't know what people would think about it, but they were on about the Barcelona Liverpool game, and they were just saying that if Ronaldo was on that team, he would not have let Liverpool score 4 goals and cap off one of the best comebacks in the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean he definitely takes a bit of attention anyway. So I suppose it's hard to go as gung ho as they did go that day. But yeah, he's class. He's top drawer.
And finally, number 4.
I picked the hurling one for the last one. Probably not as obvious as the other choices. Eddie Brennan, probably my favourite hurler of all time. I think when I was very young, DJ Carey was the one I looked up to, and when he retired early, and I think I was about 5 or 6, and I don't even remember myself, but apparently I quit hurling as well at the time. The mother and father were trying to get me back up to the field to go training, and I was refusing. I quit. DJ was after retiring, so I was hanging up the boots as well at an early age. But from what I can remember, then as I got older, I think Eddie Brennan is. I think he's probably appreciated now, but at the time he's probably a bit underrated. Just an absolute another, like the Ronaldo of Ireland, an absolutely lethal finisher. Pace to burn, like only pace I could only dream about. But it's not many fellas in every Dorney, to be fair, I'd say that would match his pace. Maybe Roach had it when he was younger there before.
He doesn't have it now that much.
But yeah, a few fellas might fancy themselves. But yeah, he was great. He was a serious hurler. And, I suppose I played most of my Ireland as a forward, and he's kind of that ruthlessness, like is something you'd love to have, like always going for goal. There's a few fellas around, even locally. I suppose John McDooley be kind of the same. Kieran Hannafin, in fairness, when from Aberdeen when he's playing, he's always first thought was always the goal, and then the point is secondary. Like whereas most other fellas, it's the other way around. If you can take your point, you take it, and then if there's a goal on, you might go for goal. But those fellas, I think that's just something that's in you, like and Eddie Brennan was probably the best of them.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting. Number 4, I don't think I would have expected some of the calls. I definitely didn't expect the Federer one. I didn't know how much of a tennis fan you are. I should have probably seen the Tiger one coming, actually, in fairness. You are quite a big golf fan. You've been to a few of the Dubai Opens, actually, over the last couple of years that you've been over there. What kind of day is that over there?
Sorry?
What is that? Is it a good day out? Like, is it different to tournaments over here?
Yeah, it's a great day. Yeah, it's you can drink away and things as well. Like, so you can bring your beer around, watch a bit of the golf. You would, to be honest, being at golf is fairly can be a fairly tame affair when you're actually watching the golf, because you see so little of it and you don't really see what's going on. You don't see the big picture anyway, like the leaderboard and things. You're hearing different bits and checking the phone for updates and stuff. So that part of it isn't great, but yeah, there's mighty crack today, the golf, in fairness, and there's a few tents set up to watch on the 17th, I think. There's a par 3, and you can go up there and watch the golf from up there. There's a good bit of crack around that, in fairness. Needs loads of Irish out as well. You get a lot of tourists out at that time. It's on in November. The weather is lovely here at that stage. It's mid-20s. So you get a lot of people out. A load of the GA players, actually, the inter-county players, would be out just on holidays and things. So you'd see a lot of them at the golf and things, and enjoying themselves and whatnot.
I'd say we'll see you back in a black and amber jersey soon enough, will we, at some stage?
Yeah, I'd love to. I mean, the plan was I was hoping, first of all, to come home this summer for 5 or 6 weeks. but I think that might be shelved now.
Yeah.
At the moment, there's no flights back into the UAE at the moment. The borders are closed, so obviously I'm working here, so I can't just go home and get trapped at home. We'll say, like, so I'll have to weigh that up closer to the time. I might be home in July for a little bit, if I can. But the plan is to come home next summer, then 2021. I got the wobbly knee there at Christmas time, so we've a wedding to plan now and things. So yeah, the plan is to get home next summer. But we'll see, I guess, with the coronavirus and everything. You know, plans may need to change if depends what the work situation is like at home. If it looks like we'll get a job, we'll come home. But if things are bad and things quite possibly we'll get fairly bad economically. So if they do, and if we've secured jobs here, it might be best to hold off here for another year. We'll play it by ear anyway.
Are you going to keep the bald head, or are you going to let the hair grow back at some stage?
Yeah, the bald head is controversial, but I'll keep it for a while anyway. I don't have much of it anyway, and I'm balding anyway as it is, so I may as well embrace it. But no, I don't think I'll stick with it long term anyway. I'm in isolation now. I don't see anyone most of the time, so the students got a bit of a shock, all right, when I turned up one morning with as a bald man, but yeah, they got over it.
No bother. Thanks for coming on anyway. It's a good old chat.
Cheers, Aidan. Good to be on with Every Dorney's own Marty Morrissey.
All right. Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you.